Hello and welcome to another one of these videos. Thanks for joining me. This time I'm actually going to be talking, that's a first, and I'm going to be narrating some thoughts about owning a bike like the Onyx RCR. So I hope you find this interesting and helpful because these are things that I kind of wish I better understood before I bought the RCR, and I'm kind of surprised that of all the videos I haven't heard anyone talking about these exact things, even though there are a lot of great videos out there. So I'm going to be talking about e-motos, e-mopeds, whatever you want to call them, e-scooters, e-bikes. These are things that are 52 volt, 60 volt, 72 volt, and you could pedal them, but you're mostly probably going to be using a throttle instead on the handlebar. It's great. A lot of them come with pedals, but most of them are pretty heavy and pretty awkward. So that's the kind of bike I'm talking about. There are lots of e-bikes out there that are designed really for pedaling, pedal assist. That's a different story. So the bikes I'm talking about, Onyx has a slogan, I think, that goes, it's not for everyone. And I think that's really true with these bikes. The RCR really suits me because there are certain parts that I really like about it. And there are other parts that I've learned to adapt to. But not everyone's going to want to do that. I don't think everyone realizes there's some learning that takes place. So I'm going to be talking about three parts of these bikes. First is the bike itself, second is the battery, and the third is you, the rider. So the bike. These bikes are amazing. They're lightweight and powerful. That means that they're responsive, they're nimble on the road. So like going on a curvy street like this one, super fun because you can control them and you really experience the road. It's a great feeling. Also because they're light, you can bring them inside if you need to, so you don't have to think about them at night. If you've got the space, you can bring them in. You don't have to worry about someone like walking away with your bike. If you get stranded somewhere, like your battery dies or something, it's light enough that you can pick it up, toss it in the back of a car, SUV, truck. You don't need to get it towed. So that's pretty convenient. But because these bikes are light, that means that, yeah, someone else could pick it up and walk away with it. And so you do see a lot of these bikes getting stolen, and that's really unfortunate. And also because they're light, they're a little less stable in a crosswind, or if you're like cruising down a busy street and there are trucks passing by and you'll feel the force of like the wind. You feel that more. People can't tell what you're riding. You know, these kind of look like the size of a 10-speed, and they're not quite as long as a motorcycle or moped. And so some people will cut you off because they don't want to be stuck behind a slow bicycle that's going like 10 miles an hour. And so you have to be really cautious. And the last thing is it's tough to find someone who wants to work on these bikes. I mean, they're pretty low maintenance, but if you need help with something, a bike shop will say it's too heavy, a motorcycle shop will say it's too small, and it's tricky. So actually on this ride, I was planning to ride with my friend who's on an EUC, but we got like a mile in and he had a flat and the valve stem was torn off, and so that was it. And on these bikes, PEVs, it's pretty fun to go. It's fun to go out, but it's more fun to go in a group ride. I think group rides really make these rides more interesting. There's people you go with, talk to, stop, get something to eat or drink. And so that was a bummer that he had to turn around. So the next topic here, the battery. So with these bikes, if you want the batteries to live a full lifespan, then you kind of have to be thinking about them all the time. There are all these rules that you have to follow to keep your battery happy. Otherwise, you're going to be shortening the lifespan and not getting, you know, the full, I don't know, value out of it. So you can't let the battery get too cold. You can't charge it when it's too cold or too hot. You can't charge it all the way up to 100% all the time, or drain it all the way down to 0 all the time. You know, those are things that shorten the lifespan. And the charging right now, you know, with this bike, it can take a couple hours. It could take a whole day if you're going at like with a 2 amp charger. You know, it's really slow. And if you're on a ride and you want to charge up, you know, even with a 10 amp charger, that could be a couple hours. It could be like 2 hours just like hanging out. And ideally you wait like half an hour after you ride to let the battery cool down, and then you wait again after the charge to let the battery cool down. All that takes time. So, you know, if a ride's longer than like 30 miles round trip, then I kind of hesitate. The other thing with the batteries is you see these like terrifying videos online of batteries exploding. That's pretty bad. It's constantly in the back of my mind, you know. Fortunately, with the 41 amp hour battery that the RCR comes with, it's got a battery management system built in, so it's easier to monitor. But you see these videos and it's like awful seeing, you know, or reading these stories about people's apartments or homes burning down. That's bad news. The good news with these batteries is that you are free from exhaust, dealing with gas prices, dealing with, you know, internal combustion engine breakdown, things like that. Free from all the politics of oil. They're quiet, and the technology for batteries is constantly improving. So I think that the power and the charging, all these things is only getting better. Okay, and then the last topic here is the rider, you yourself. So it's amazing when you put on your gear, hop on a bike and just go. It's the definition of freedom. Like, you feel so alive. You're out in nature. There's no metal or glass between you and anything. It's a fantastic feeling. And the downside is your eyes are constantly scanning. And if you're up for being really alert and aware and really taking an active role in a ride, then it's great. But you're constantly looking up to see, you know, if the road is curving, and you're looking to see if there are other vehicles. You're also looking down to see the road condition, because these wheels, you know, they're kind of skinny. And so constantly looking around. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Leave comments in the comment section below, questions, and enjoy yourselves.